Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about homeschooling in an apartment, specifically here in New York because I live in a small apartment here in Brooklyn, and I'm going to share some tips with you, but this could be anywhere, any kind of small space. So just some tips about homeschooling in tiny spaces. If you're new here and you don't know who I am, I'm Christine. I'm owner and content creator of bloomingbrilliant.net, where I share educational resources, parenting advice, and of course, information about homeschooling. I'm a homeschool mom of two. I homeschool my 14-year-old daughter and my 10-year-old son right here in Brooklyn, New York, and I love to share our homeschooling journey with you. If you're interested in homeschooling and you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you're alerted when we post new videos. So just because you don't have a dedicated space to call your homeschool area or homeschool room doesn't mean you can't homeschool. You can homeschool in a tiny apartment, an RV, anywhere really, as long as you have the will to do it. Organization is key to homeschooling in a tight space or tiny space. Making sure that you know where your stuff is for homeschool and having it organized in a way that you can get to it easily is super beneficial, so that way you're not scrambling trying to get books or papers during your lesson time. You also want to make sure that you have a really good location in your home. It could be at the kitchen table, it could be in the living room, in the bedroom, wherever, as long as you have a dedicated space to get most of your lessons done, like any kind of book work done, where that's well lit and quiet and that your kids can focus. Again, this space doesn't have to be a big space, a huge room dedicated to just your educational needs. No, it could be the corner of a room. It could be taken, it could be, like I said, we do a lot of our homeschool at the kitchen table, also in the bedroom, also sometimes in the living room. It changes depending on the needs of the other people in our house. So it's challenging, but it can be done. Just making sure that you have a corner of a room even. It's important to have some space that you can help your kids focus for their homeschool. So one tip is to try to keep your space clutter-free. And I know this can be challenging, especially being in a small space. We live in a small apartment in Brooklyn. It's the two kids, and I live with my mother. And it's challenging because there's not a ton of space here. It's a two-bedroom if you count the it's a small room, so it's difficult, especially kids don't like getting rid of their toys and things like that. So it's really hard to keep things clutter-free, but it is possible using some different kinds of techniques, like the furniture that you choose. We have a desk that folds out that also has a bookcase, which is really good to keep our books all neat and in one place. We have actually a lot of bookcases because we have a lot of books, but it's also really important to, once you know that you're not going to use a curriculum anymore, if you finished it, to get rid of it. So that can be by selling it or giving it away to other homeschoolers who are in need, doing a swap, anything like that. I found it challenging at first and only recently started, cleaning out some of our old curriculum. But it's really important because even if in the future you have more kids, you're not necessarily going to use that curriculum. One, it can be out of date, like you need an updated material, or two, your child might not learn the same way, or three, you just want something new to teach. This is something that I had kept in my mind of possibly having more kids in the future and wanting to probably homeschool them, so worrying about what I would possibly need in the future. But letting go of that is really important sometimes because, like I said, things become out of date and things you just don't know. So when in doubt, it's okay to get rid of it. Also, I had this mindset of lack where I was afraid to let go of anything in fear that I might need it and can't afford it in the future. I'm working through that and letting go of some of the stuff so that way we have more space, and that also gives us some more energy to do the things that we are now focused on doing, which is, high school and 5th grade. I don't really think you need to purchase any crazy new furniture, although, like I said, I have a bookshelf that also opens up into a desk, which is great for us to have storage and also a workspace. The seating that we use is just seating that we have in the house. When my kids were younger, they had a small table and little chairs, which gave them a dedicated space of their own, but you don't need anything extra. Just organizing your space to the best of your ability is pretty good. You could get lower end things like organizers and cubbies and little like fabric draw things to help you organize papers and just overall stuff that you want to keep neat and clean and not necessarily out on display. A lot of homeschooling takes place with technology nowadays, so making sure you have either a tablet or a computer dedicated, like a laptop dedicated to homeschooling, can be beneficial, because if you work from home, for example, like I do, a separate computer for the kids to get some of their lessons done is really important. Also, a dedicated space so they're out in the open and not necessarily in private. Being on the computer is just good internet safety for kids. Even though a lot of sites are safe, you never know what they can get into by being free on the internet. So always do your due diligence there. One thing specifically living here in New York that can be challenging is, of course, noise. Living in New York is very loud. So if that is something that you find challenging, getting headphones, like noise canceling headphones for yourself or your kids, can be helpful at times when they're trying to focus on lessons and they can't do it because of all the noise going on, especially if you're in a small home and that you have like everybody else talking and doing things. Being able for them to block some of that out and focus is really important. Letting your kids get involved in personalizing their space, or the space in which you're going to be spending the most time homeschooling, or even just throughout your home, can be super helpful. I have put up like the ABCs in the past when they were little, but also like motivational signs and things just to keep them focused, as well as daily schedules and calendars so that they can know what's going on in our homeschool day. So these are all different things that you can do to add to your home in order to make it more functional for them to know about things that are going on in their homeschool, and also motivate them and getting them involved in that, like with their art and stuff like that, and also just getting their say is a good way to get them more into the whole homeschooling environment. These are just a couple of ways that you can homeschool here in New York City in a tiny space, or again, like I said, it doesn't even have to be New York. If you're living in a tiny space, these are just a couple of ideas of how you can homeschool and make it more manageable. I know it can be challenging, and I know that sometimes it's a big wish to just be able to have just a little bit more space. To do all the things you want to do, or to store all the things you want to store in order to have them at the ready. But these tips have helped us, and I hope that it can help you. If you enjoy this video, let me know. Give me a like, or put your comments down below in the comments section. I love hearing from you guys. If you have any questions or anything, please let me know. Put them down there in the comments. If you think this video would be beneficial, I recommend that you share it. It helps me out and it will help others. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video. I know this one is probably going to come out a little late. We were just so exhausted from Legoland over the weekend that I've been rushing trying to get all these things together, plus work and everything else. So I'm sorry that this one's a little late, but I'll see you again with another video. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoyed this, and have a great day and happy homeschooling. See you then. Bye.